Bonus round. Bonus round.
All right, here's our bonus.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Put it away.
Here's our
with
bonus
this nasty
area.
ass
This
shit.
is the part that's not going to be released on the podcast, but should be released on our video version. And it's just we're testing out new questions.
Sure.
These ones are great.
So these are something we came up
Are
with.
these
Like
even weirder than?
No, there's some weird ones because I actually Googled like questions to ask, like normal thing, and the ones that came up, I was like, who
these
the
are just
fuck
some
would
test
ask
questions.
that?
Okay.
Some test questions. We're like,
I like it.
These are shit, or wow, I like that question.
I'm definitely gonna ask you one of the other ones.
Yeah, and I'll ask the first one. What's the opposite of koala?
I don't know. Is
That
there an
one
animal that's like
screwed me.
awake all the time?
That screwed me.
I mean, there's a Pokemon that's like that. Opposite of koala. What are those those lizards in the desert that have to run across the sand?
Oh, those guys that
Yeah,
are like,
yeah. I think
I'm
that
glad
might
we
be.
both did the same noise because that's what I imagined them to do.
Yeah, I think that might
You
be
know,
the opposite of
you know
koala.
what we're talking.
Yeah, I totally
the
do. I'm
lizards
just
that
like-
do
I
that
I don't know the
thing.
name of it though. The sand runner? I don't know. It's probably not
Sand
official.
runner. I
Sand
wish it was
winder,
that.
lizard winder,
I don't know.
sand winder.
Well, maybe you're thinking of Sidewinder, the snake.
Dang it,
Yeah.
that's
lizard
opposite.
winder.
Lizard winder. Oh, these sound very.
Sounds really
unfortunate.
troubling.
That was bad. That's
Yeah.
my new pet
I'm
peeve
going to
word.
go with the lizard runner though.
I like that.
That's good.
Lizard runner's a good one.
No, I only put these on my computer, so you don't have them.
I
Did
don't
you
have
wanna-
them.
It also might be an octopus because koalas might be the stupidest animal. There's this whole
They
rant
are really
on
dumb.
Tumblr about how stupid koalas are.
I will also point out that pandas are pretty dumb.
That's fair. Well, pandas just don't want to exist anymore.
That's true.
They are built to
they're
be
kinda
carnivores that will only eat bamboo that their body can't process.
And-
Like, they want to be extinct.
If they
we're
have
done.
2 cubs, they have to only feed one because their body, what they get, is only enough to support
one,
one.
yep.
So the other one has to die.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
like, that's dumb. You're dumb.
koalas will only eat leaves from trees within like a half mile of where they were born. And if you put the leaves on a plate, they're too stupid to realize it's the same leaves and won't eat it. Koalas
Such
want to die
dummies.
as well.
All right.
It's like why they're probably just like, why are we here?
Right. They're a useless animal.
I was like, why are you still saving us? I mean,
Like,
really,
just
think about
stop.
it.
Let
Stop.
nature run its course.
Yeah, just like.
We've been trying for so long. Just let it.
But do not tell my wife that because that's like her favorite animal.
What, koala?
Koala.
Oh,
Okay, I love
God.
koalas.
We
They're
all do,
But, like,
but they don't
they're
serve
dumb
a
as a bag of
purpose.
They're
hammers.
And they
adorable
don't serve a
idiots.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Maybe
the...
that's why I'm married to her.
Oh, no!
Ah.
Don't listen to this.
He
worst,
looks so worried
I'm the
now.
bag of hammers.
worst example of procrastination.
That's a weird question. The worst example of
Yeah.
procrastination?
That hurt, so I wrote it down.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what it's asking.
Right?
Like,
Like, what's your worst example of
oh, like when I got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, it's a really good example, though, because my entire high school career, I was that kid that the teacher was like,
Career.
I know
Took
that
me
you
5 years
can't write.
to get through high school.
Oh, it only took me 3.
5.
I'm sorry. But I was that kid that
Mine
when a
was a
teacher
career.
said, like, you can't write this all the night before, I was like, challenge accepted. like,
Right. Uh-huh.
I've got, what, 2 hours? Done.
It's like you always end up writing the best papers in that time.
Oh, I
though.
didn't. Mine
Oh.
were pretty bad. A couple of them were really good, and one of them I was super honest with my English teacher, and I wrote an essay about why I didn't write my essay. And she was like, you know what? Respect.
You did a
Hey,
breakfast
that's
club.
fair. That's
Kind of,
fair,
yeah.
That's a breakfast
Yeah.
club.
No kidding.
She was the best teacher. I also convinced her. So again, I was that jerk in high school. It was like, why should I have to do my homework? And every teacher said to prepare you for the test. I said, okay, if I can ace the test without my homework,
Yeah, what's the point?
what's the point?
Yep.
So I got my teacher to agree. She wouldn't give me homework for a month, and if I passed every test with a 95 or higher, she wouldn't give me credit for the homework, but she would excuse it all, so it didn't count against me. And I did it. I didn't get below a 97 on the test that month.
Yeah, I could only do that in
Like-
my math classes.
See,
The other classes I could.
I was good at doing the homework. I suck at tests.
See, I'm really good at taking tests.
Oh,
I can walk
suck
in
at
knowing
it.
very little about a topic and still get a pretty good test score because I know how to take a test.
I hate that. I hate that. I
Going over to
can't do
math,
it.
though, I have a better story than that. Sorry, I'm just
No,
tangenting
go.
this whole
do
thing.
It. Let's do it.
So Algebra 2 was my first class of the day, and I'm not a morning person, so I would sleep through most of it. And my teacher would get annoyed because she would call on me, and I would sit up, answer the question correctly, go back to sleep. So one day, she's writing one equation, but speaking another aloud. And she said, Jeff, answer the question that's on the board. And I sat up and I answered the question she had been speaking. And I laid back down. And she said, that's why you have to pay attention. And I said, that's why you shouldn't try and trick your students. Yeah.
That's really good,
Dang.
though.
I was still absorbing the information.
I like that teacher, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
she was fine, but like she was trying to prove a point and she did it really poorly, I think.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
absolutely did a point. I think I like the result of that
Sure.
teaching was
Yeah.
not everybody learns the same way.
Right.
You know,
Right.
True.
it's very true. What's the worst superpower?
Are we talking like superpowers that already exist?
You
Because
could,
The
there's
worst
you could do whatever you
superpower.
want.
There's-
What would be the worst superpower?
exploding one time. That's a thing that exists.
That's hey.
There's a book called like The Worst X-Man, and it's the story of a mutant whose mutant power Cerebro has determined is that he can explode one time because he will explode
And he's
from
done.
the explosion. Yeah, it will like wipe out a city, but he will die.
Wow.
So if he ever uses his mutant power,
Literally the
He
end
dies.
game.
Like-
That's the end game.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure
kidding.
that's the worst superpower.
Holy crap!
That's pretty great.
Yeah,
I still like my drunken.
Oh, she had
Character.
like some dream
No,
story,
no.
some
Oh.
character you made up.
No, I was drunk. No,
Asleep,
it was
drunk.
this guy. He
Tomato,
has
potato.
the ability to have every superpower that there is, but he gets it for 10 seconds randomly.
I like that.
Yeah, and he doesn't know. He's just like all of a sudden he's like flying. He's like, holy shit, and then he's done. It's done. 10 seconds.
That's great.
Passed.
That's
And
hilarious.
so it was like. it's
Now can
perfect.
it repeat? So like he might just get fight again.
Yeah, yeah. He's just like, oh, maybe this time it's for real. No,
Aw,
No.
it's definitely not.
that's great.
It's the worst. And sometimes it's just like he can breathe underwater, but he's like, wait, I can't breathe this oxygen.
So
all of a
then,
sudden.
like biologically, if he can breathe underwater, say he happens to be underwater when it happens, takes a deep breath and then it wears off. Does he start drowning?
Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah. No, but if he can like only like breathe water, so he can only breathe water. So
Sure.
he just starts like drowning.
Just starts choking for
Yeah.
10 seconds.
That'd
Yeah.
be the worst.
Yeah.
that was
That would be
bad.
pretty bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. That's a. I love thinking about that guy though. Like, I'm sorry, he was a terrible.
You are
life.
the best and worst superhero
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the
You
exact
are
same
definitely the superhero.
Well,
we never
every 10
need.
seconds.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Husks might be pretty bad too. A
Yeah.
lot of the X-Men have really bad powers. She can rip off her skin and become something else. No control over what it is. And to change back, she has to rip off that as well. And
That
like,
is-
yeah,
And she can feel that.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like it's a canon thing where like there are just piles of skin lying around because she rips it off of herself and just lets it go.
That's such a. How did?
And it's like most of the time it works out fine because she'll become like an energy being, blah, blah, blah. But like, what if she turns into like mashed potatoes? Like,
It's true.
who does that help?
Who's,
And also, how did
who's
she
gonna peel?
figure
Who's
this?
gonna?
How did she figure out the superpower? That's another thing. Just start peeling. It's like.
I
"No!"
mean, with X-Men though,
something
like
else.
Cerebro's like, oh, this is your power now.
That's, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
God
that was
damn
a
it,
different.
sir.
Yeah,
I like when you discover your own.
Uh-huh.
That was the surreal. That was something like that.
right.
Most boring sport, and how would you fix it?
All of that. I don't like sports. Most boring sport. No one's ever going to agree with me on this, but I think hockey. And my argument for this is hockey is such a boring game. They have to allow the players to fist fight on like during a game. If you take out the fist fighting, hockey is boring as hell. So I guess the way I would change it is the way that it's already been changed and allow them just to openly brawl on the ice.
It just
Like-
turns into an open ice
Like,
brawl.
yes.
Don't ever
Yes.
put somebody
like
in the
no
penalty.
protective gear, just like gladiator days. Like
Oh gosh.
that's how I would improve.
Sharpen the blades.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even give them skates. They just have to run, so they
Run
fall
across
all the
the ice.
time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're constantly falling.
Yeah.
That's not bad. So just mix gladiators and ice.
On ice. Yes.
New hit musical. Gladiators on ice.
That could actually be something.
That could be. It probably will be someday.
Thanks, Canada. I am Canadian too. That's why I was like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
oh, that's great.
Nice.
Actually, well, what
Yeah.
else is there to do in Canada? Right now, there's a ton of things
Sure.
to do.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
For the next like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
be a free person.
Go to the hospital for just
Go-
whatever.
Have,
Yeah,
you know,
for-
have
I'm
your
coughing.
have your
Oops.
own opinion.
Afford a house.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Afford
leave,
coffee.
Leave your door unlocked.
Yeah. I mean,
Know your neighbors.
Yeah.
Like,
It's weird.
be proud of your leader.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that'd be different.
I'm just
What a
going to bring it
life.
back to that whole go to a hospital thing.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
yeah,
That's,
right.
that's a big one.
That's,
That's
a
a big-
super big one.
Yeah,
That's
basic
the basic
living-
thing that like our
basic
country can
living
afford to
rights.
implement, and they're just not.
Yeah. Anywho's.
What cartoon physic would you want to try?
Hammer space.
What did you just say?
Hammer space.
Okay.
You ever notice how Bugs Bunny always has a hammer? Where does he
Okay.
keep it? In an extra dimensional pocket.
Oh, I
You
never
reach
even
into your
thought
pocket.
about that.
Another example is the TARDIS.
Yes.
That's hammer space. Or Mary Poppins' bag. Hammer space.
Hermione,
Bag of holding.
Bag of
Hermione
holding.
Granger's
Hermione Granger's
bag.
bag. Yep. It's anything that holds more than it physically can is called hammer space, and it was first created by Bugs Bunny.
Holy crap!
I like that.
I think it was
How-
first created by Bugs
Didn't
Bunny.
How
even cross my
useful.
mind.
Yeah.
What?
I was thinking about when you get run over by something, you just flatten out and you can come right back
Yeah,
up.
and then
That's
he's
what I
over
was thinking.
he's over here with hammer space, and I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I really
I've
was
been asked
thinking
that before.
Oh, okay.
And
I
yeah.
love
Damn.
that one.
Yeah,
Well,
hammer
that's
space.
fantastic.
It's the great. It's
I like
the best.
that.
Also
Oh,
a good
right.
superpower though.
Oh, it's a,
Fantastic.
well, yeah, because you can carry whatever in there.
Right.
A tank.
And like, there's theoretically no limit to the
it's
amount
like,
of space.
yeah, it was like a tank.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, tank.
I feel like we already kind of asked this one.
The last one?
Yeah.
What is it?
Most disgusting word.
We did pet
Yeah.
peeve, but we were trying to
What's the one
think of
that's
like maybe
gross?
this one would be better instead of pet peeve.
I also-
Most disgusting word.
I mean, if you had a normal guest, they're both fine. Words don't bother me much, so
Words don't bother me that much either. It's always the context behind
Yeah.
the word that
Yeah.
always can offend or hurt someone.
Right.
It's not the word itself. The word is just
right. Well, and it's all words have the potential to be hurtful or
Yep.
beneficial, and like I try to choose my words very carefully, especially if I'm in an argument. Other than like intentional slurs, those are the only words that really bother me.
But even if you do them
But,
on
like-
accident, it's always intention.
I don't know that it's always intention. I think it's usually intention.
Yeah,
But I think there are just some words that just are never really appropriate.
That's
So
but that could change.
it could.
Those
in
things
the
change
future.
by
Yeah.
history, and I mean they could become a very common word, or
Sure.
they could become disgusting.
Sure.
As they go on, because conflict is, for some reason, conflict is a kind of a bad word.
Yeah.
When you have a conflict with someone,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't find it to be a bad word. Confrontation to me is not like a word that's we've perverted it, because confrontation
that.
is just like, I have something to say and I want to confront you with it.
Sure.
It doesn't, there's no negative context in it, there's no aggression behind it. It's just like, I wanted to talk to you about something, so
Sure.
you confront somebody. But confrontation has turned into the result is a conflict, and
Right.
you're
I
like,
get that.
what? That's not how it was intended. That's
Right.
not how the word was, Yeah.
I have one more question.
No, do it, because
What-
we are
what were
in the
your-
bonus round, and
What
that's
were your
all the
last
questions we have.
5 emojis that you used?
Oh,
I don't,
yeah.
I don't use emojis.
You don't use
I don't think I've ever
emojis?
actually used an emoji.
What? Okay. Well, there you
Yeah,
go. That
you guys
answers
picked the
that.
wrong guest for
I
this
know. I was like,
question.
hey.
I didn't know. I was like, we talked about
like
it.
my phone will automatically do it if I do like an emoticon, but like that's it. I don't go into the emoji thing ever.
I usually go into the little pictures, like
I like to poop on.
Like if you ask me like most recent GIFs that I've
Oh,
used.
that's true.
Oh,
What-
also GIF or GIF.
it's GIF, it's graphic.
GIF.
Cool. Thank you.
I want you to say GIF
There's the
because but
argument-
it's peanut butter, but,
Well, there's the argument that
but GIF is proper.
the creator calls it GIF, but that's because he clearly doesn't know how to pronounce the word graphic.
I mean, but the creator, it's an acronym, so it's
Right.
like it's hard to call. For me, it's hard to call it a GIF. Graphic,
Graphic is something file.
graphic image file. I
I think so. Yeah.
But it's graphic.
Right.
Graphic.
Great.
Ugh. It's a
You be
hard
Tony
G.
Tiger, man.
Yeah.
So it frustrates me a little bit. But you know what? Hey, in this, they changed Sci-Fi Channel to SYFY.
That is
True.
the stupidest
so
switch I
was
have
up
ever
in
seen.
arms, and I still enjoy the
CP.
channel
Sure.
a ton.
See, that one doesn't bother me.
That one bothers me.
That one
Interesting.
bothers me because I was like, why did you go say that? It's like, oh.
Yeah, it bothered me when it happened, but
I
now
mean-
I'm like, I still enjoy the channel. So
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
All right, I have to ask this one
All right.
because I couldn't believe.
She
I'm
just like-
sorry.
she-
I have
was
one
going-
more.
No,
But now I have to ask
No,
this
I
one.
have one more because this one I couldn't
Okay,
believe.
last question
was
of the
thing.
night.
This is the very last one. Should kidneys be able to be bought and sold?
Yeah.
I could. Okay.
I think they should.
Yeah.
Like, if I have a healthy kidney and man X doesn't, and man X wants to pay me a substantial amount of money and cover all of my
Take my
bills,
kidney.
great. I'm not using it. Well, I am using it, but I don't need it.
But
Please take
I'm one of those that's like, if Party A and Party B are in agreement,
Sure.
why the hell are you stepping in
Right. That's my point. Like,
on almost anything?
right.
Really, I
Right.
mean, unless it's like killing one another. But then even there's some gray
If
area.
they're the only two affected,
right. I was like,
Like-
then you get into this strange space of
Right.
morality where
Right.
why are we stepping in?
Right.
I never understood why you. I know it sounds awful, but. And I'm putting this on podcast. I don't understand why, if two people are in agreement that I can pay you for sex, I don't understand why that is a problem.
it's not in a lot of places in the world.
No, and that's why I was like, I just don't
It's-
understand where
Yeah.
morality.
Because
I've
our-
never had to physically with money, but I think we all do things for other people in exchange for
Oh, yeah.
something else. That's either it's for friendship, like I'm nice to you because you're nice to me, and
Right.
we exchange being hanging
Right.
out and being fun together.
We exchange fun.
Right. I was like, we really did. Emotional funds.
Yeah.
We just exchanged that.
Emotional
So,
funds. Oh, that was a good one.
yeah, I
like
mean,
that one.
we
Yeah.
do it all the time. So,
I get
yeah,
it.
I'm big on that.
So, hey, kidneys, sell them now.
Kidneys.
Buy low, sell high.
Hey,
don't
I've got
think
one if
anybody-
anyone needs it.
I probably don't.
While we're here.
Honestly, I don't even know if mine are worth anything.
I'm the same here.
Mine
I
are
was like,
pretty,
mine are pretty.
Oh my
probably.
gosh.
So,
I
well,
just
thank you.
don't know
That
the
was
last
our
time I
that was our
checked.
bonus round. Thanks for hanging out for a little
Yeah.
later.
Thanks, man.
This
That was great.
will not be part of the
Yeah.
podcast, but it'll be
okay.
in that secret realm of
The secret realm.
bonus.
That's terrifying.
that is a little
It
terrifying.
isn't the secret
Thanks
realm.
again, man.
Like the negative
So
zone.
thanks for coming and stopping by.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna just stop the recording.
Sweet.
Bye.
Bye.